We all want to feed the very best to our kittens, but if it's going to come down to not being able to feed them the very best and letting them get put down because we can't feed them Royal Canin, what are we supposed to do, right? If buying Friskies for your kitten means that you can keep fostering and keep these guys alive, then do it. There is no shaming here, no food shaming, no money shaming. This is just a utility for you guys to kind of get an idea of a few other brands that are comparable in consistency and ingredients at a lower price point. Hello my kitten loving friends. We are going to do a little bit of taste testing today because we are at the end of our kitten season and I keep having foster moms ask me what is an alternative to the Royal Canin Mother and Babycat because it's just a really great food to start them out on. It's got a really nice smooth pudding consistency that makes it really easy for them to eat and swallow and digest. So what we're going to do is test a few of these foods, and I'm going to tell you what they are, and we're going to look at the consistency, and then I'll bring some cute little kittens in here so you get your cuteness in, and we'll just kind of talk about the consistency, the price, and we'll do a little bit of a taste test with the kittens. The kittens, not me. I ain't doing that. I don't love y'all that much. Okay, so what we're going to test with the Royal Canin is the Mother and Babycat, and it's the ultra soft mousse stuff. So this stuff is about 40 to 50 cents an ounce right here. So that's what we're going to compare everything against is the Mother and Babycat Royal Canin. This brand is called Whole Earth Farms Healthy Kitten Recipe. This is a grain-free food. This is Hill's Science Diet, and this is the Savory Turkey Entree. I don't believe that one's grain-free. I believe this one has grains, but the Royal Canin has grains. And then we've got the Wholehearted, and this is grain-free also, and I'm using the turkey recipe in gravy because this is a pate, and the chicken and I think it's tuna is the other kitten one, and those are chunky ones, and we want to test consistency for new kittens that are weaning. So we're doing all pates. We've got the Royal Canin here, and this mushes up pretty easily. The Science Diet, that's pretty mushy. I think that's pretty comparable consistency there to the Royal Canin. This is the Whole Earth Farms. This one's much drier, but it's still mushing pretty well. It's not quite as mushy as the Royal Canin, but it's drier than the first two. It's drier than the Science Diet also. Okay, now I think that the Wholehearted here, I think this one is the driest. Which, I mean, honestly, I like the look of this stuff the best. So I was really hoping it would be a little more creamy than this. I'm having to push harder on this stuff. But I really like the way this looks, you guys, because it looks a lot more like real food. And I can't tell if you can really see. It's a little bit closer here. I'm having to smush a little bit harder on it, but it just looks more like real food. I know when I had my babies, my human babies, I tried making my own baby food for a long time, and I always had trouble getting the consistency of meat correct. It was always a little dry and just not really smooth and mushy, and this is what it was like for me when I made my kids their homemade meat baby foods. My meat always came out kind of like this, and that's what it reminds me of. So I feel like this is the closest to real food, and I think that we should all strive to do a little bit better about eating real whole foods in our diet, and so it just makes sense that we should feed our pets that way also. So that's why I like that, but it is much drier. Get a little closer to the screen with this one. This one just smooths out all over the plate really, really well. Like bean dip. A little like bean dip. But yeah, that one smooths really well. You can get a closer look of this. This is the Whole Earth one. Whole Earth Farms. Yeah, that one's much more mushy than the Wholehearted. But again, this looks more like processed cat food to me. It doesn't look like food. It looks more, a little more processed and stuff. I have not given this one to the kittens yet, so this will probably be the first taste test we'll do, so we can see how they like that. I bought these 4 foods to do this video with and do the comparison for you guys, and they've had the Wholehearted and they like it just fine, but I just don't know. I didn't try this to wean these babies. We'll make some gruel in a minute and we'll mush together some KMR milk with it and we'll see how that goes. So this one mushes a lot better. I like that. I like the consistency of that one. This is the Hills Science Diet. Do a closer look. It smears really well. It's a really nice mushy consistency. I like that one too. I do. I like that a lot. But again, this just looks like the most real food to me. I don't know, you guys. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, the consistency wise. I like it. I like the food. The ingredients seem pretty good. I'm gonna leave a link to a blog post for you guys with detailed information of with the ingredients and the analysis of the food where it tells you the percentage of protein and stuff like that in it, so you can check that out for yourself. I am not a professional when it comes to diets for cats, so don't take my word for this stuff as far as how healthy it is. We've got Royal Canin right here, Science Diet, Whole Earth Farms, and the Wholehearted. Okay, see, I've smoothed it out a little bit. Okay. So that's how they smear out, and you can kind of see that this one's clumping a little more. It didn't thin out quite as easily. It's got a bigger chunk there where it didn't want to smooth out all the way. These 3 have really similar consistency. I'm pretty impressed with that. So I'm gonna take one for the team and I'm gonna smell this stuff for you guys. This smells fishy to me, and not in a funny way. I can't remember how much fish this has in it. I think it's got salmon in it somewhere. We'll look at the ingredients in a minute. Kind of feels like there's some fish in that one too. Okay, so I think that these 2 are the stinkiest. If you're looking for stinky food, like if you've got a kitten that is being a little bit difficult about weaning, or if they've got a URI, they can't breathe very well, they can't smell their food, these are a little stinkier to me. The least stinky is this one. And I'm gonna try to hold these up so you can see how they look out of the can. This is the Royal Canin over here on the right. It doesn't look like there's a lot of chunks of stuff in it. Like in this one, you can kind of see that residue at the top, and I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming it's maybe some oil or something. The Science Diet, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but there are a little bit of chunks like right there. You can see a dark chunk. It just looks a lot more processed to me, like either throwing in more byproduct. And then this is the Whole Earth Farms. This one looks a little chunky to me also. You can kind of see it. Zoom in for you. So overall, I just really like this one. I like the way it looks. I like the way it smells. It doesn't stink like a typical can of cat food when you open a can of cat or dog food and you're like, oh dear God, that does not smell good. It's not like that. It's not overpowering like that. It does smell good. It smells like turkey to me. It smells like meat. It smells good, like appetizing, but it doesn't have that overwhelming cat food, dog food smell that you get sometimes with food with cat and dog food. I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't completely overwhelming and disgusting to me. I like the way this stuff looks. It doesn't look super overprocessed, like there's a bunch of byproduct in it. It doesn't look like there's a bunch of just crap just thrown into it. I think that this is I think this looks pretty good. I mean, honestly, I might even eat this. I'm not going to. I love you guys, but I don't love you that much. So we'll let the kittens test it in a minute and we'll see what they think. Okay, so next we're gonna do a syringe test. I'm gonna show you what it looks like, all of these pushing out of a syringe, and then we're gonna do a little slushy, slurry gruel mixture for you. Okay, so to do the syringe feeding, what we do is put some in a bag, cut the tip like this, make a pastry bag. We pop the end of the syringe off right here. We put the pastry bag right there, push it in, and pop the syringe bottom back in. Okay, so this is the Royal Canin. I'm gonna try to get closer for you. You can see. This is how easy it pushes out. Okay. This is the wholehearted. This is the really dry one, and it was pretty hard to get it into the syringe. You had to press pretty hard. Okay, yeah, I'm having to squeeze this pretty good. When you're trying to feed a squirmy kitten, might not be the best. Well, it's coming out easier than I thought it would, honestly. I have trouble using syringes with my hands because I have pain in my hands. So foster dad usually does syringe feeding for me because it's so much easier for him and he's just so good at it. He usually does this for me. For him, he could probably do this. I mean, it's coming out. It's just not... I'm having to push it pretty hard. This is not something that I would be able to do personally. If you have any kind of pain in your hands, your wrists, your fingers, this might be trouble for you. I would say for the wholehearted, I would say you would have to wait to start using this until after they are weaned and you're done syringe feeding. Okay. And this is how we fill up the syringes when we're doing syringe feeding. Okay, so this is the science diet. Closer for you. Oh gosh, that is so much easier. I mean, that just squirts. Poo, poo, pew. I'm having way too much fun here. Shoo. Yeah, that came out so much easier, you guys. That's awesome. This is the Whole Earth Farms. And I can tell you already, this is coming out so easy. After doing the wholehearted turkey, these just come out like butter. Yeah, let's see, that comes out so easily. You'll be able to do that nice and steadily for a new kitten that's learning how to syringe feed. Just for comparison, I'll show you again what the Royal Canin looks like coming out. You know what? That Whole Earth and the science diet is coming out easier than the Royal Canin. It is. I'm having to push harder. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised because the Royal Canin has the most gravy in it. And when you look at the cans, if you go scroll back to rewind it to when I was showing you the close-ups of the cans, see all that gravy in there? I thought that the Royal Canin was going to be the smoothest and the wettest, but I don't think it is. I really think that the science diet and the Whole Earth Farms are smoother. I think that they've got a creamier consistency and they're coming out of the syringe easier. And like I said, the syringes are kind of hard for me to push with my hands, so that's saying a lot for me if it's easy to come out. Okay, this next part, we're gonna test the slurry action, the gruel, the sludge, whatever you wanna call it. And I'm just gonna squirt some milk out. I'm gonna pour some milk out into a small amount of the food. And we're gonna see how easy it is to mix it up without using like a mixer cup or a blender or anything like that. We're just gonna get in there and go for it. And this is KMR. We're using a second step right now because our kittens are all older, so that's what we've got out right now for them. Okay, you're right out a tablespoon of liquid there. It's not quite, there we go. It's right out a tablespoon. It's probably about a teaspoon of food right there. That meshes together really well. Okay. Okay, so this is the Whole Earth Farms. The Wholehearted next. Take about a teaspoon of meat, tablespoon of milk, this is a little harder to mix up like I thought it would be, but it is mixing. It gets stuck to the spoon more. The other stuff wasn't getting stuck to the spoon like this. It was real easy to smooth around, smear it. Okay, that's probably half the milk right there. Rest of the milk over. This is gonna take, you can make slurry with this definitely, but it's gonna take a little more finessing to get it creamy. Mixes up pretty well. It's not real chunky. I think you'd definitely be able to put this in a syringe. I think you'd be able to put this in a you'll want to start with a thinner mixture if you're going to put it in a bottle out of a nipple, but I think you could definitely do this in a bottle. And I don't think that you'd have to use a blender or even a mixing bottle. I think that you could probably just spoon it together and shake it up really well because it's not real chunky. And that's one of the things that I like about this one is that it's just not got little chunks in the food. It just looks different to me than the other regular cat foods. It just looks more like real food to me. Okay, Science Diet. About a teaspoon of food, a little spoon of milk. It's mixing really well, but I do see some chunks in it that are gonna have to be, like, I think you can see that in the video. See that dry spot right there? That's a chunk that I'm having to press pretty hard down on to smush it. And that's gonna give you chunks in your bottles. You're gonna probably have to mix this with a mixer bottle, a mixer cup, or a blender. And I think that's gonna give little chunks in it that are gonna get stuck in the nipple. Might have trouble with this one in a bottle. This one is the Royal Canin. Tablespoon of milk. Mixes up pretty well. Well, I know this one because I've made hundreds of slurries with the Royal Canin. You can see some little chunks there that are gonna get stuck in the nipple. Again, in a syringe this would be fine, but if you're gonna do it in a nipple, I don't know, the chunkiness that's in this one, I don't know if you can really tell in the video, but it's like it smears across it easier, and I don't feel like that one's gonna get stuck in the nipple as much. I can't really explain why other than that, then it just feels smoother and it's mushing under the spoon easier. I just don't see as many chunks in this one, but You guys, I'm not actually looking directly into it right now. I have it right in front of the camera so you can see this stuff. So you might be able to see some stuff that I'm not able to see. But I like that pretty well. Pull these up together. Okay, the Royal Canin is in the front. And then that's the whole earth. Royal Canin and Wholehearted. And then this is the Science Diet again, and yeah, I'm gonna get close so you can see this. There are a lot more chunks in this one. I mean, you can just see them visibly. I don't even have to talk to you about trying to fill them with a spoon underneath it. You can just see it. I think that this is gonna cause the most problems with bottle feeding. If you're going to start to add food slowly to a bottle, I think that this one's going to be the most trouble with that, the Science Diet. Okay, so this is the little mixer that I used to do formula, and when I'm doing small batches of gruel mixture, this was like $13 on Amazon, and we just use this to make the formula, so it's dirty right now, but you get the idea. It goes pretty fast. It just uses one little battery dude. So it's easy to use and you don't have to plug it in. It rinses off really well and it's pretty powerful for just a little tiny dude, and it's just really handy to have with kitten season when you're making tons of bottles and tons of gruel and stuff. Okay, so in conclusion, I think that the Royal Canin was harder to squeeze out of the syringe by itself without milk than the Whole Earth and the Science Diet. Those two were actually the creamiest. I liked those best for coming straight out of the syringe by themselves without any milk added. That was really surprising. I really thought the Royal Canin would be the smoothest and the creamiest. The Wholehearted, I really like the consistency of it as a food because it doesn't look like it's got a whole lot of byproduct shoved in there. It looks like real turkey, but I think it's going to be really hard to use out of a syringe, and it's a little harder to mix with milk, but it didn't take that much effort to mix it in to make gruel. Royal Canin, I honestly was really surprised how much easier the Science Diet and the Whole Earth Farms came out. I'm just really impressed with that. So I would say that all three of these are probably pretty good dupes for consistency wise for using with a syringe and a bottle, with the exception being the Wholehearted. I don't recommend that for a syringe without any milk in it. I tried to get stuff that was roughly 25% cheaper than the Royal Canin. Now price wise, it goes Royal Canin, I believe it's Whole Earth Farms, Science Diet, and then the Wholehearted. The Wholehearted is the cheapest. Okay, so we're gonna get some cuteness going on. I'm gonna get the kittens in here and let them do a taste test, and you'll get your kitten fix. For all of my hippies out there, don't worry, we are using disposable plates, but guess what? They're 100% biodegradable. What do you think, babies?
Which is the best one?
Have got the Greek God kittens. Let's see if they gravitate toward any of them. We've got the Royal Canin and the Whole Earth in the front, and then we've got the Wholehearted and the Science Diet in the back. I kind of thought that they would gravitate toward the Slurry mixtures first because it's got formula in it, but they're not. They're just kind of staying where we put them. Let's swap the plates around on them and see what they say. You gonna do musical plates, babies?
Just switch it over.
What do you think?
You can make what's the thing.
You just gonna take what you get and you don't throw a fit? You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. What do you think, babies? Yeah, I don't think they care. You want to bring Chandler in here and let him eat too? Thank you. Is that good stuff? Yeah? Okay, here. You're okay. We're just gonna switch it again, okay? What do you think? Nobody cares?
You just taking where you put
Yeah,
it?
pretty much, yeah.
Well, that's a good thing.
Okay, so I think they all passed the taste test, and they're not even gravitating toward the slurry mixture. They're just all eating the regular food. I think that the girls are starting to get into the slurry a little bit, but they're starting on the real food, not the slurry mix. So this video is actually going to go up before the Greek God kittens are introduced in their unboxing video, so I'm sorry about that. I'm behind as usual, but these are the Greek God kittens. There were 6 in their litter initially, and they came to us from a mom that was hit by a car and killed, and we think that they were probably feeding on her for a while after she passed, and they came to us pretty sick. It wasn't even blood in their stool, it was just blood for days. It was really, really worrisome. I thought we were gonna lose Zeus, the black kitten up there. Thought we were gonna lose that one. We ended up losing one of the girls, Mellow. Let's see now. So it's just the 5 of them. Was it good dinner? Was it good dinner? Yeah? Okay, Hephaestus just changed over to the science diet plate. That's the first switch. And he switched from, let's see, what did he switch from? The whole earth? Yeah, he switched from the whole earth plate. There's Aphrodite and Zeus. And that's Athena. Is that good stuff? Well, she just switched over to the whole earth. What do you think? No? You don't like that one better? No, not better? So these 3 are eating the Royal Canin right now. I want to see, let me swap them again. I'm going to see if Fez switches over to another plate again after I swap. Bless you, Zeus. Are you done eating? Daddy. Daddy. You're not Daddy, you're Artemis, I'm sorry. This is Artemis. That's Aphrodite, the gray collar. I'm sorry. I know who you are, I promise. Kind of. Kind of. Oh, you want belly rubs? Do you want belly rubs? She just flopped over so I could rub her belly. You got your tail in the food. Do you know that? The other kitties are going to eat you. You want down? Zeusicle. Are you all done, baby boy? It's getting close to the edge. Move. Move them around again and see if anybody... No? Not? They're fine. They're all just kind of staying where we put them. Oh, big jump. Artemis jumped down. I think that's the biggest jump she's done. Hi. Hey, Zeusicle, did you get food up your nose? Hi. You're so cute. Hi. Daddy. Okay. Say thanks for watching, guys. I'll put links down below for everything. I'll put links for where I bought everything and how much it comes out to, and all of the prices for each thing separately, and some different ways to save some money. There are some cashback resources that I use. I like Top Cashback. That's my favorite. There are some auto delivery options that'll save you some money. And the first time you order at these stores, they typically give you an extra 30% off of your order for your first auto delivery. So at the beginning of kitten season, if you have a store that you have not ordered with yet, there's a good chance that you can try to get a 30% off offer in your cart and save you some money, and that'll stock you up for kitten season. We have spent probably $1,200-$1,300 on kitten supplies just this summer since May, April, late April. So it costs a lot of money. Most of us don't get free food and litter from our shelters. So we have to look for ways to budget, and we all want to feed the very best to our kittens, but if it's going to come down to not being able to feed them the very best and letting them get put down because we can't feed them Royal Canin, what are we supposed to do, right? So we have to make choices. We have to make decisions. And if buying Friskies for your kitten means that you can keep fostering and keep these guys alive, then do it. There is no shaming here, no food shaming, no money shaming. This is just a utility for you guys to kind of get an idea of a few other brands that are comparable in consistency and ingredients at a lower price point. That's it. Yes. Yes. I see, boy. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you have any questions.